Welcome to New Zealand's biggest gap here, an epic challenge that my partner Laura and I decided to tackle a few years back. The challenge, 365 days, 365 activities all around New Zealand. Today we are in the township of Akaroa and we're gonna do night sup, that's stand-up paddle boarding. Join me at the end of the video when I'm gonna go over all the comments and questions you had the first time we published it. Today is a calm and relaxing day for us in Akaroa. We don't do much, we are looking at the wildlife, we're taking the time to take a breather because we've been so busy lately with all those activities, and our activity today is only starting at dusk because we are joining the team from Night Sup for a night stand-up paddleboarding experience in the Akaroa Harbour.
Each time you press the button, you get a different colour.
It's party time.
So we have 7 colours.
Needless to say that Jamie is super proud of his high-tech paddleboard. Him and his team are getting all of them ready because we're having quite a full tour today. We are going to be 10 people gliding at night around the Akaroa Harbour. Because most of the people in the tour and because Laura and I only stand-up paddleboard a couple of times, Jamie is going through a lot of the basics of how to stand-up paddleboard. After all, it would be a little bit better if we successfully stand on the board, right? The team from Night Sup is a well-oiled machine. They really know how to share all their knowledge in only a short time, giving us plenty of time on the water. So as soon as we have done a couple of rounds of practice on the sand and that we all feel really confident on standing on the paddleboard and how to behave on it, we are finally hitting the water.
After watching a glorious sunset, we are stoked to be finally hitting the water and checking out those light displays under our paddleboards. But of course, the thing we really want to do is stand up on the paddleboard for the first time without joining the fish in the water. There's a really great energy in the group as everyone is managing to stand up on their boards for the first time. You can hear different people whooping and screaming around our group as they are managing to stand up and start paddling around. Once everyone's got their footing on the boards, Jamie is giving us some extra tips for us to stay stable as we paddle around the perimeter of the Akaroa Harbour. We are heading toward a place called Children's Bay, which is meant to be renowned for all its fish and wildlife under the water, so we can't wait to get there. Already Jamie is pointing out some stingray and various other fish in the water, but unfortunately we're not nimble enough on the paddleboards just yet and we just miss out on seeing them.
To be fair, I do spot a lot of fish and stingrays as well. However, I am not confident enough on the paddleboard to be able to point the camera fast enough before they go away. It's a really awesome experience to be able to see so much underwater at night. It's a complete new universe for me. But obviously I just can't stop myself from playing with that light. There's so many different modes, so many different colors, and there's even a disco mode where I press on it and it just starts going party time. It's really awesome and I just play with these things for the entire tour. But aside from the fun factor, those LEDs are actually super useful as spotting marine wildlife. Because there are so many fish around and because it's not really deep water, it's rather really shallow, it allows us to see everything. There's 1600 lumens right under our board, so there's nothing that we'll be able to miss, despite the fact that you don't really see everything right now on camera. And I don't just like the LED lights on those boards, I actually like the board themselves. They are a super strong board, they are really stable, they are not those blower boards, they are really good and it's perfect for beginners like ours. And the paddle that we are having is carbon fiber, meaning that they are actually quite light and are not strenuous to use throughout the whole tour. I basically like the entire equipment that we've been given by Jamie and his team. Jamie tells us more about the Akaroa Harbour, the wildlife that we're seeing, and also he's really proud of the fact that he's the only night sup tour in New Zealand, or at least at the time we did it.
By the time we get to Children's Bay, it's around 10 PM, so we are almost in complete darkness, and this is when the colours of our paddleboards really illuminates the water. And particularly in Children's Bay, the plant life underneath our boards is really mesmerising to watch as it's swaying back and forth with the tide. After taking the time to look at some fish around Children's Bay, we start making our way back towards the main beach in Akaroa. As we are heading closer towards the township, onlookers looking at our colourful lights on the paddleboards are going ooh and ah as this beautiful light display is passing right by them. also by this time of the tour, we've become really confident at using these stand-up paddle boards. We're just having a really cruisy time, going across this placid water, and that's a really great thing about doing stand-up paddleboarding in Akaroa, is that it's really sheltered by the harbour, so we don't have to negotiate any waves.
Stand-up paddleboarding is super popular in New Zealand. You can find it almost everywhere, but that's the only place you can do it at night. And this tour is actually really cool. It's super relaxing and it's not too long. It's only about an hour, which is really good because if it was any longer, by this time of the night, we would get real cold real fast. Overall, we had a blast and it was an absolutely unique thing to do in the Banks Peninsula.
Robin is being reminded how to stand up on the paddleboard, and although he does do it and he does say he's pretty comfortable doing it, he prefers to be on his knees when paddleboarding anyway, so for the majority of the trip he is on his knees and I am standing because this is called stand-up paddleboarding. This is not called kneel-down paddleboarding, so that is the explanation behind this really important decision.
Alright, so how cool is that tour looking, honestly? I feel that it's one of the most unusual night activity that we've done during New Zealand's biggest gap year. And a lot of you guys were agreeing actually. We have Ryan that says, nice video guys, I've always wanted to try this in Akaroa, maybe next summer. So Ryan is already planning for next summer to do it. Natalia says, whoa, that looks amazing. Guys, what about adding to your video info about the activity price? It would be helpful as well. Well, activity prices tend to change quite a lot, so that's why we usually stay a little bit away from actually explaining, telling exactly what the price is, but at the moment it's around $100 per person to do a night sup in Akaroa. And finally, we have Thea F that says, oh my lord, I would love to do this, thanks. You're very welcome, Thea. We love to actually showcase things which are a little bit unusual around New Zealand. In fact, this is literally why we started NZPocketGuide.com, New Zealand's largest travel guide. It's all 100% free and you can find it thousands of articles on nzpocketguide.com. If you do have some travel questions for us and you feel like you want to interact with us a little bit, we do run a live show every single Sunday at 8 AM New Zealand time. It's called the NZ Travel Show. And in it, we spend 1 hour literally reading the live chat and answering all your questions about traveling in New Zealand. So that may be a really cool place for you to hang out. To be notified when the next one is, make sure to hit the subscribe button. And to reward all our hard work, you can hit the like button. If you want to go a step further and reward our hard work even more, you're more than welcome to join us on Patreon. For the price of a cup of coffee a month, you'll be able to get a ton of awesome perks, including access to a secret Facebook group in which you can hang out with us every single day. It's a lot of fun. In the meantime, I wish you all a lovely day. Laura is wishing you a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.